And now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, NDP 2019 is proud to present the Parade and Ceremony segment, featuring our people. Ladies and gentlemen, the Parade Regimental Sergeant Major for National Day Parade 2019 is Master Warrant Officer Chong Wee Kyong Sean, Brigade Sergeant Major, 3rd Division Artillery.
Baris, Sade, Kya, Jula, Sanja, Ta. Baris, dari kiri dan kanan, cepat jalan.
The parade and ceremony lends a real sense of protocol to the atmosphere, and because it traditionally features many full-time national servicemen as well, it's also an opportunity for proud parents to identify loved ones.
Bicentennial, 200 years since Sir Stamford Raffles first arrived on our shores. As we celebrate how far Singapore has come, we must not forget
now, much of that is down to Singapore's shared commitment to build a strong and resilient Singapore through the 6 pillars of total defense: military, civil, economic, social, psychological and digital defense. In fact, that last pillar was recently added as Singaporeans are increasingly exposed to digital threats as they head online. It's hoped that Singaporeans will build on this pillar even as the country continues to forge into a technologically advanced future. The SAF and Home Team Contingents are a staple during our parades, and so too are our social and economic groups like NTUC, which showcase how far Singapore has come in those regards. In fact, one of Singapore's unique traits is the way our labour movement is organised. Over the years, our unions have adopted a compact with the government and employers not seen in other parts of the world. And NTUC says this has helped workers continue to benefit and grow even in challenging times. And here you see our socio-economic contingents marching proudly together with their peers from the SAF and Home Team, putting in just as many hours, just as much sweat and equal hard work to make sure they get to salute the nation on its 54th birthday. Our youth, also front and centre of each NDP, here are the uniformed youth organisations formed by our students. They're not marching just for show, they also represent our youth's resolve to defend Singapore and their collective stake in making sure Singapore continues to progress. Together, all these contingents represent Singapore's commitment to total defence, and this march exemplifies how every Singaporean plays a part to build a strong, secure and cohesive nation.
Baris, Russo, Sanja, Ta. Baris, ke kanan, low, Rose. The National Day Parade is a celebration of Singapore's independence. The parade is made of people from all walks of life, sacrificing their weekends, practicing together. As the parade RSM, it is my duty to ensure the contingents uphold the standards and execute their drills sharply.
I have always wanted to take part in National Day Parade, and I'm very happy to be given this opportunity. I feel very nervous, but I can't wait to show Singapore what we have been training so hard for.
我很开心代表工会和大家在一起 我每年参加，因为我喜欢看到我的老朋友。虽然有时很累，但这是我对新加坡的小小的贡献。
I am an SAF VC volunteer. I'm also a school teacher and a mother of 3. Serving in the Navy has allowed me to contribute to keeping Singapore's waters safe and open for international trade.
It's amazing to see how the parade has come together to what it is today. This is what we can achieve when we stand by one another.
Singapore's journey has not been easy, but we have always moved forward as one united people. This is the spirit that we want to capture in this year's parade. Happy birthday, Singapore!
Ladies and gentlemen, the parade commander, accompanied by the women, police, pipes and drums, will now take over command of the parade from the parade regimental sergeant major.
This year's parade commander is Lieutenant Colonel Alvin Chew Wing Kwai, commander of the Operations Group at the Naval Diving Unit. And here he is taking over command of the parade from the Parade Regimental Sergeant Major, Master Warrant Officer Chong Wee Kiong Shon, Brigade Sergeant Major, 3rd Division Artillery. Giving the parade a real sense of pomp and ceremony is the women police pipes and drums. They've been around since 1972, an incredibly skilled pipe band, often mentioned in the same breath as their international peers. They've been incredibly well received wherever they've performed, at home or abroad, and their overseas stints include Indonesia, Japan, Australia, France and Scotland. And I must say that on top of being adept musicians, these women are also full-time police officers.
Kawalan kombatan dari kiri cepat jalan.
Marching in now are the 35 regimental colours, the 3 state colours and Guard of Honour contingents. Here's a quick backgrounder on these military flags. The colours actually originated to help soldiers identify friendly forces on the battlefield. They also served to inspire and rally troops as they issued their last stand. Now, because of how symbolic the colours are, it was considered a great honour to capture an enemy's flags. Conversely, it was humiliating to lose one's colours. So to prevent that from happening, the Colours Party was formed. Their job was to protect the flags whenever they were brought into battle. The Colours role has since evolved to embody each institution's history, honour and tradition. And having the honour of leading the Colours Party this year is Colours Regimental Sergeant Major, 1st Warrant Officer Lim Hsien. Also set to feature in today's parade and ceremony are soldiers from the 24th Battalion Singapore Artillery at Merlion Park. They'll be firing this year's gun salute. The Guard of Honour contingents are proudly formed by the Army, the Navy, the Air Force and the Singapore Police Force. Looking now at all 38 contingents this year, forming up and getting ready to salute Prime Minister Hsien Loong.
Tanglin, Kombatan, ke dalam.
Kawalan Kombatan, pandang ke depan, pandang.
Kawalan Kombatan, hormat panji-panji, hormat senjata.
Wes, rusuk, senjata.
The parade commander this evening is Lieutenant Colonel Alvin Chu Weng Kwai, Commander Operations Group, Headquarters Naval Diving Unit. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise as the parade pays its compliment to our Prime Minister, Mr. Hsien Loong.
Race, steady, yeah. Infantry, Hubat, senjata. Base, rusuk, senjata.
Prime Minister Hsien Loong will now take his seat.
In his National Day message, the Prime Minister acknowledged that global uncertainties abound, but, and this is timely as we mark our bicentennial, the way Singapore has navigated ups and downs throughout its history means it can weather any storm. In his words, it's the ingenuity of our people and the boldness of our spirit that is key.
Next up, the combined drum band, together with the youth from APSN Tanglin School, will execute an exciting performance.
Taking centre stage is the 24-strong combined drum band, which makes its debut at this year's NDP. Among them, members of the Singapore Armed Forces Band and the National Cadet Corps Band. It also comprises 8 drummers aged 13 to 16 from the Association of Persons with Special Needs, or APSN, Tanglin School, and that's a social service organization to meet the needs of those with mild intellectual disabilities. They've been practicing a long time for this, holding more than a dozen sessions at Nisun Camp and the Padang. The piece you're listening to is specially written for this year's NDP. It was crafted by military expert 2 Hazizi Jafar, who has a passion for working with youth. The piece starts off with a simple sampa motif, but gradually escalates with layered drum lines and complex movements.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise to welcome Her Excellency, President Halimah Yacob.
President Halimah Yacob arriving for her second NDP as head of state. She is the country's 8th president. And the president is being welcomed by a man who is also here in this capacity for the second time, Lieutenant General Melvin Ong, Chief of Defence Force of the SAF.
Praise Hubert President Hubert Raja.
Ladies and gentlemen, now look up to the sky above the stage. 5 F-15 SG Eagles from the Republic of Singapore Air Force, led by Lieutenant Colonel Hsien will execute a bomb burst in a salute to the nation. And here's they come!
Madam President, the parade is formed up and ready for your inspection, ma'am.
There's the 21-gun salute, the highest honor that can be conferred. It's normally reserved for the head of state. And what you're hearing are the booms from the firing of blanks from 4 ceremonial 25-pounder howitzers located off Merlion Park. The guns are operated by members of the 24th Battalion Singapore Artillery, and each of the 4 howitzers on board that raft requires 6 men to operate. Representing the Army in this year's Guard of Honor are men from the 1st Commando Battalion. They earned the honor after winning their 16th consecutive Best Combat Unit Award. The famous Red Berets underlining their sterling reputation in front of Singapore. Next up, the Republic of Singapore Navy, represented by members of the Naval Diving Unit. You're looking at men who've beaten the odds to be where they are. Out of every 450 men who are called up to serve, less than 100 become full-fledged divers. Coming up now are the men and women from the Air Power Generation Command as part of the Republic of Singapore Air Force. These are the personnel in charge of deploying the full might of Singapore's air power, manning the country's 4 air bases. To help the Air Force fulfill its mission, these men and women take on responsibilities that range from maintaining aircraft and bases to providing logistical support. Finally, the men and women from Training Command of the Singapore Police Force. TRACOM, as it's known, trains and develops not just the core and professional competencies of police officers, but also instills ethics and values. And it's arguably more important than ever as the police force gears up to face technological disruption and evolving threats. The crowd giving a rousing reception for President Halimah, whom it seems is equally happy to engage and reach out. Remember, she's not just head of state, but as her activities have shown, a member of our community as well, championing the less privileged, the disadvantaged, the vulnerable segments of our society. Just last week, Madam Halimah announced the focus of next year's President's Challenge, an annual fundraising event for charities. She said she wants to focus on empowering people with disabilities, and that could come in the form of employment, which she hopes would give them a sense of self-confidence, self-esteem, and well-being. At the root of it all, it's really about fostering their sense of belonging in a society that they can truly call their own. But it's not all one-way traffic. Perhaps it's a reminder that all of us can look out for each other and be a united people, even as we move forward as a nation. And what better time for such a reminder than as we celebrate everything that makes us Singapore.
The Guard of Honor will now execute the Feu De Joie, or Fire of Joy, to celebrate our nation's birthday.
Kawalan Komandan akan tembak Feu De Joie. Isikan Boom! Hormat! Tembak! Isikan lagi! Hormat! Tembak! Isikan lagi! Hormat! Tembak! Kawalan kehormatan kehormatan datang senjata. Kawalan kehormatan rusuk senjata. Madam President, may I have your permission to proceed and thereafter march off the parade, ma'am.
President Halimah Yacob will now take her seat.
Remember, it's not just Singapore marking a milestone, so is the Istana, which commemorates 150 years. Just last month, President Halimah launched what are called Istana cookies, containing ingredients found on the Istana grounds. The design on those packets was drawn by special needs students, another example of how the President is working to foster an inclusive society.
Ladies and gentlemen, as a tribute to the nation's 54th birthday, the RSAF has put together a special aerial display. Watch as the men and women of the RSAF prepare their magnificent flying machines for this year's aerial display. First up, flying in from your right in a thick formation is the RSAF's newly acquired A330 multi-role tanker transport aircraft, escorted by two F-15 SG Eagles. Up next, from your front, two of our state-of-the-art multi-role F-15 SG Eagles will perform a challenging aerial display, showcasing precision and team excellence. Get ready to witness this breathtaking shackle maneuver as they cross each other at close range. Presenting the shackle. F-15 SG Eagle will perform a high-G combat turn with full afterburners. The F-15 SG Eagle will round off the RSAF's aerial display with a vertical climb, signifying progress and prosperity for our nation. Above all, home, our Singapore!
akan berjalan keluar dalam masa cepat. Kawalan kehormatan dahulu, kawalan kehormatan ke kanan, yang lain ke kiri dan ke kanan. Bow! Take!
And just as they let the Guard of Honor contingents in, the Colours Party will lead the parade in this march past. By being part of the party, these men are actually part of a long tradition that dates back to the early 17th century. Today, the colours remain symbols in modern armed forces to promote cohesion, esprit de corps, and instill a sense of pride and loyalty in the unit. The Colours Party is now forming up for the traditional march past together with the 4 Guard of Honour contingents. Set to march behind the Colours Party are the 6 contingents from the SAF and Home Team, 10 contingents from the uniformed groups, 16 socio-economic organisations and the combined band. Together, the contingents represent the country's commitment to the 6 pillars of total defence: military, civil, social, economic, digital and psychological defence. Colours are awarded for achievements in the fields of combat, training, administration, efficiency and service to the community. And leading the march past is the parade commander, Lieutenant Colonel Alvin Chu Weng Kwai. Definitely a proud moment for the man and his family. Following behind is the parade regimental Sergeant Major Master Warrant Officer Chong Wee Kiong Shon, accompanied by the 3 state colours. Colours Regimental Sergeant Major 1st Warrant Officer Lim Lee Kiet commands the 35 Regimental Colours. The Army Guard of Honour contingent is next. It's formed by men from the 1st Commando Battalion and is led by Major Benson Chow Wen Lie. Turn our attention now to the Navy Guard of Honour contingent, formed by men from the Naval Diving Unit. This contingent is led by Major James Ong Chong Yu. We now see the Republic of Singapore Air Force contingent, comprising personnel from the Air Power Generation Command. This Guard of Honour contingent is led by Major Dina Kumar. Finally, Superintendent of Police Wilbur Sim leads the Singapore Police Force Guard of Honour contingent. It's made up of men and women from the Police Training Command of the Singapore Police Force. Marching past are the uniformed services from the SAF and Home Team. Military Expert 4 Kenneth Neo Chun Peng leads the way for the Republic of Singapore Navy contingent, while Captain Lim Lee Chien Amanda is at the forefront of the Singapore Army contingent. Next, the Singapore Police Force Contingent, led by Assistant Superintendent of Police Teo Kim Ying, and the Republic of Singapore Air Force Contingent, led by Military Expert 4 Chua Hao Che. SAF VC SV2 Neo Li Fang leads the SAF and Home Team Volunteer Contingent, which is making its debut at NDP, while Captain Chia Wai Kit keeps pace with the Singapore Civil Defence Force Contingent. Cadet Inspector Hsien leads the National Police Cadet Corps, and next to him, Cadet Lieutenant Andrew Yap Zijian leads the National Cadet Corps Land. The Girls Brigade Singapore is led by First Warrant Officer To Yi Ling, and young adult Lua Tia Hui does likewise for Girl Guide Singapore. The Singapore Scout Association is led by Rover Scout Faith Ong, and the Boys Brigade is led by Senior Cadet Lieutenant Hu Chuan Yang Joel. The next two contingents are the Singapore Red Cross, led by Volunteer Officer Heather Low, and the National Cadet Corps Air and Sea, led by Cadet Captain Irian Shazrian. Finally, we have St. John Brigade Singapore, led by Corps Staff Officer Grade 5 Yo Kai Wen, and the National Civil Defence Cadet Corps, led by the Senior Cadet Lieutenant Muhammad Hilmi Muhammad Fadzil. Our social and economic groups are up next. First out the blocks is the PAP-PCF contingent, led by Mr. Saktiandi Supaat, and Ms. K. Thanalechmi leads out NTUC, which celebrates 50 years since adopting a stance of cooperation. Ms. Wong Wen Hui Linus leads the way for Keppel Corp, while Mr. Zhi Wei Meng heads the SEPCORP Marine Contingent. Singapore's National Water Agency PUB is led by Mr. Chin Wei Jie Edwin, and Singtel has Mr. Ko Chung Tek Terry at the front. Close behind are Dr. Goh Jia Hai and the rest of the People's Association Youth Movement, and OSIM International, led by Miss Christina Chong. Ms. Ng Wen Ya fronts Wan Changi, while Mr. Kurt Wee leads the Association of Small and Medium Enterprises. Kofu Group is led by Mr. Chu Tek Chuan, and One Team Singapore follows, together with Miss Adeline Tae Yok Kun. PSA International, led by Miss Wong Kai Ling, followed by National Healthcare Group, led by Dr. Sim Chin Sing Evan. And the final two socio-economic contingents are Nanyang Polytechnic, led by Mr. Wong Po Sing, and LiHo T, led by Miss Chu Yok Lee Janice. The marching music for the parade and ceremony is provided by the combined band, made up of members of the SAF Band, the SPF Band, Singapore NCC Command Band, and the NPCC Band. The combined band is led by Band Conductor Military Expert 5 Stephen Tan Ait Ki, and Drum Major Military Expert 1 Jash Chua King Hui.